Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a quick overview of the bosses in the Court of Stars as they appear in the Legion Alpha. Court of Stars is a 3-boss dungeon coming in Legion, where you'll fight the Nightborn Elves in the Noble District of Suramar. Because of one dungeon mechanic in particular, this instance is going to be absolutely hilarious for challenge mode speedruns, unless you're actually trying to do it, in which case it's kind of awful. We'll get to that in a bit. The first boss you'll meet in the Court of Stars is good old Patrol Captain Gerdo. Periodically, he'll cast Arcane Lockdown, which applies a debuff to everyone. The debuff will slow your movement by 30% and inflict damage over time, and you can remove stacks of it by jumping. There's a big fat raid warning telling you to jump, so that's a hard one to forget. Flask of the Solemn Night increases his haste and damage by 30%, so healers and tanks should save their cooldowns for when he has that up. Resonant Slash and Streetsweeper are 2 ground-targeted abilities to dodge that will emanate out from the boss. Move your feet and you should be clear of both of those. Last, Signal Beacon will summon aid from active watchposts and bring ads. Kill ads, dodge the cone attacks, and jump like a bunny, and he should go down pretty easily. The next boss you'll run into is Talixae Flamewreath with her pack of demons. The demons buff each other by a lot, so engaging the whole pack of them at once is a terrible idea. Wait for them to split off and then kill them one at a time as you clear trash. Once you've done that, her fight is fairly simple. She'll stack up Burning Intensity over the fight, which will deal damage and ramp up her fire damage done. Save healing cooldowns for later in the fight to deal with that. Withering Soul is a stacking debuff that affects the whole party, reducing their maximum health and movement speed. As a healer, dispel your tank first to keep their stacks low, and then take it off your DPS if their stacks start getting overwhelming. Infernal Eruption will blast players into the air and leave fire on the ground after, so players will need to keep up enough movement speed to avoid that damage. As a DPS, just dodge the fire and kill her before it gets too ugly. This next encounter isn't exactly a boss fight, but will be a big sticking point for speedruns. I like to call this the spy movie interlude. You'll enter the Jeweled Estate and talk to some Nightborn to collect clues. Your mission is to use those clues to locate the spy to move on to the rest of the dungeon. Accuse an innocent partygoer and you'll be ported out of the hall and stunned for 20 seconds before you can go back and try again. The clues will rule out people based on their clothes. For example, in my run, the spy would be wearing gloves, no cape, no long sleeves, they'd have potions on their belt, and a light-colored vest. The location of the spy and presumably the clues will change with each run, so good luck with this. It's pretty fun when you aren't in a hurry, but I can see this getting old very quickly. Once you've nailed the suspicious noble, follow them outside and you'll kill them as a mini-boss. After that, it's time for the final boss. Advisor Melandus has just a couple of very straightforward abilities, but will summon images of himself that also have those same abilities, so it can kind of get tech-to-see as time goes on. Piercing Gale does damage in a straight line in front of the boss or image, so keep an eye on the direction that they're facing. Slicing Maelstrom is an unavoidable AoE that your healer will need to cope with and will also be cast by the images. Blade Surge dashes the boss to a player and deals damage within 5 yards of them, so spread out a little bit for that. Player Struck will have a strong bleed on them, and Blade Surge leaves behind a new image of the boss. Kill him quickly before he makes too many of these or the fight gets out of control. So that's the Court of Stars. Overall, this dungeon took us roughly 40 minutes, which included a couple of wipes and a fair bit of time spent in the whole spy finding thing. Thanks for watching, let me know what you think, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye!